before we set up our webinar, just for all of you who are watching, please could I ask you to mute your microphone. So in the bottom left-hand side of your screen, there should be a little old-fashioned microphone sign that says mute. If you could click mute, that's great. It looks like everybody's managed to do that. That's excellent. It just means there's no background noise for everybody else during the webinar. So welcome, as I say, to Destination Staffordshire's Facebook promotion webinar. Today we're going to really focus in on creating saved audiences. We're going to look at the creative content of any promotion, and we're also going to check how to set budget during our Facebook promotions. So the first question that is really important to understand about Facebook is why using Facebook advertising over any other advertising might be beneficial. Understanding the difference between Google advertising, Twitter advertising, even advertising on Instagram, which is run by Facebook but slightly different in some areas. But let's focus today on Facebook advertising. Facebook advertising really is useful because of its sheer power. If you understand that there are 30 million Facebook users, active Facebook users in the UK alone, so that is people who are using Facebook at least 4 times a week. Most of those Facebook users are checking in 5 to 7 times a day via mobile. So there's a massive audience just in the UK alone. And the thing that Facebook understands about that audience is that they know who the audience is, who their friends are, where they like to shop, where they live, what their hobbies are, what kind of content they already like on Facebook, what kind of things they're interested on Facebook and how they engage. So immediately what we're doing is buying into all that bank of knowledge that Facebook already has on the audiences that we might like to focus on and promote to. It has this powerful targeting, but it also has a huge range of content options. So Facebook, you will understand, a lot of clients I speak to complain about it all the time, that every time they go onto Facebook, there's something new to think about, there's something new that's available. Facebook does provide a wide range of content options: videos, slideshows, carousel, images alone. So immediately you can see that the variety of kind of promotion you can offer to your potential audiences is huge. The other thing is that they have huge ranges of promotion options. So that is different types of promotion that you can put together on Facebook for your audience. And again, this is vital to give you all the tools in your toolbox to get the results you want out of Facebook promotion. Some of you might have heard about the changes in Facebook over the last 3 weeks. So Mark Zuckerberg was ostensibly born out of the issues around the American election, the criticisms they've had around safeguarding and children, on Facebook. They really they had been looking at it for a long time, bringing Facebook back to its original purpose, which was to connect friends and for there to be interesting, valuable content in front of the user's newsfeed. So what they had become aware of is that lots of users were being exposed to information that might not be relevant, might not be interesting, could be harmful indeed. So what they've done is they've changed their algorithms such that Facebook pages, that is the pages that businesses use to set up their promotions, need to provide information or need to provide content that is live, real time, and of genuine interest to users. Otherwise, they simply won't show users your content. So if your content is simply a post about, have a look at the new page on my website, Facebook now is going to deem that uninteresting unless you have such an audience that engages with that underneath the post, in the comments, the likes and the shares. So in the aftermath of such changes, and we're still seeing how that's going to work out, Facebook promotions and advertising is coming to the fore. This is our opportunity. And we will show later on that for most small businesses, spending large amounts of money is not what is needed. Small amount, but very clever targeting is what is key. So really we can see that Facebook promotion is a powerful tool. It isn't something like traditional advertising where you might place an ad in a local magazine, you spend £250, £500. You're not entirely sure where that advertised piece of content is going to go to, so you might not know. What Facebook targeting will do and Facebook promotion is allow you to spend small amounts of money on very targeted pieces of content to very small targeted pieces, audience sectors. So I liken it to the difference between shouting into a thunderstorm and hoping that someone can hear you and whispering into the ear of your perfect customer. And that is the difference we're looking at today when we look at Facebook promotion. And of course, what Facebook does is it provides you with an amazing array of insights and results as a result of all your promotions. So you can get to see who clicked on your piece of content, who looked at it, who viewed the video. And then from that, you can decide to whittle that audience down again. So for example, you could share a video, do that for 3 or 4 days, then and then you might look at who looked at that video for maybe more than 10 seconds, and you would think, okay, those people are now really bought into my brand or my business, so I'm now going to target just those people who looked at our previous video and target in on them with our next piece of information, our next message, our next promotion. So that's really important, because what it means is that although the cynics might say Facebook is taking all our money, they're making us pay for being on Facebook as a business, actually no, what they're doing is saving you money, because what they're giving you is the facility to whittle down your audience, to concentrate the money that you're spending. And rather like Google, it will give you what you're spending per click. So in the breakdown of the insights, you will be able to see, is this worth it? I got 10 people to click through to the key part of my website and book, and it cost me 50 pence each time that happened. It will give you that information, so hugely powerful. So let's get started a little bit and talk about the different options and ways in which you can promote. I'm going to share some Facebook screens now to give you an example of what I'm talking about. So hopefully you can all see that when I do. Well, firstly, there are 2 real options. Well, there are actually 3, but we're not going to talk about the third option. But there are 3 options in terms of accessing ways in which to promote on Facebook. The first is via your Facebook page itself. The second is via Ads Manager, which is the piece of software platform that Facebook will provide for you in order for you to view all your promotions in a big umbrella, big picture way. And the third is something called Power Editor. Power Editor is like Ads Manager on stilts. So that's for the big corporates who are spending large amounts of money and need to do super fancy stuff. So we're not going to talk about that today, but we are going to talk about the first 2, accessing simple Facebook promotions via your Facebook page, and then we're going to look at Ads Manager. So if I save the first screen for you, or show you the first screen rather, what you'll be able to see is, if I can find that, just one moment. So what we're going to do is look at Facebook pages. So if everybody could give me the thumbs up that they can see that Facebook page. Yeah, that's great, thank you. So you can see here that we have a standard Facebook page, and this is what your Facebook page will look like. And you will see that there are lots of options here. Can you see the cursor? Different types and ways in which you can share content, which is great. But actually what we're concentrating on today is going over down to the left-hand side here and clicking Promote. So this is very simple. It's available on all Facebook pages, regardless of your numbers of likes, your fan base, or whatever. So immediately what that does is it gives you a really simple step-by-step approach about what the purpose is of your promotion. Now, it's really important before you spend any money anywhere is to think about, what am I trying to achieve? What is the message that I want to get out? Who do I want that message to go to? And more importantly, what action do I want them to take once they have seen that piece of content? So it's really important you understand those 3 things. What is the message? who is the audience, and what action do I want them to take. So it gives you some really simple options about the types of promotion you can create on Facebook here. So simple things like boosting a post. That is, you're throwing a little bit of money at a post, and you are, because it's a popular post, it's a great bit of news, and that means that that post will get extra reach and hopefully extra engagement within Facebook. It asks you, do you want to set up an ongoing promotion? This is your business spending a little bit of money every single day to keep your business page and all its content ticking over. More and more businesses are doing this now, spending £1 or £2 a day, maybe more depending on budget, 365 days a year. Now, there can be advantage to that. That could be really useful if you're new to your Facebook page, you have a new brand, you have a new logo, you really need people to simply familiarize themselves with your Facebook page and see it regularly in order to build brand and understanding. However, be warned, if you are a small business and you have a limited budget, this can run away with you. It could be that you simply set a budget of £2 a day. That's well over £600 over a year. And you might find if you're not assessing that and looking at how that's going regularly, then you could find that you have spent all that money and actually it hasn't improved your Facebook page. And as I will talk in a little while, content is king. If your content is rubbish, your Facebook page isn't updated, you don't have a wow cover picture, that is the large picture on the top of your Facebook page, then actually spending any of this money is going to be a waste of time. It's also giving you the option, and again, these options change all the time. Facebook is absolutely working hard for business right now. So this one is quite new, get more messages. So if you have a lot of Facebook users who are using Facebook only on their mobile, about 73% of business users only use Facebook on their mobile, it might be that you want your business to receive more direct messages, that is Facebook Messenger service, to stay and connect with your customers. This could be really interesting for some tourism businesses who are looking to get last minute bookings. They're looking to get people to engage with a particular event, for example. Okay, it's going to give you more options down here. You could decide to simply promote your page. Promoting your page is really wanting more likes, more fans for your page. And certainly for some small businesses, this is a key outcome that they're looking for, especially at the beginning of their journey on Facebook. So if you've got less than 100 likes, for example, maybe you've got less than 200 fans, this could be an option for a little while. Again, make sure that your page looks stunning. Your about is absolutely accurate. Your cover picture looks amazing. The content is good. Otherwise, you're quickly going to get likes that you've paid for, but they're going to click straight off because they're going to realize it's not of interest. Build your business, again, is slightly different to promote your page. That's to get people to like your page, but also take another action on your page. Get more website visitors. This speaks for itself. If you want people to click through to your booking page, to your event page, then this is the one for you. Get more customer contacts. This is trying to request contact details from potential customers. This is lead generation. So this is where you can use Facebook's lead forms and get people to fill in information about themselves in order for you to use that in the future. This is a more sophisticated option for those of you who are absolute beginners. So you can see here that there are a load of options. And if we click on the top one, Boost Post, I'll quickly take you through where you can go. They are going to simply give you all the options of posts that you've already selected or already posted, and they're going to say, do you want to boost this? There is some argument now that the algorithm has changed, that boosting posts has lost power. So maybe you then decide that you're going to create a promote your page. This gives you a really easy step-by-step guide. At the top left-hand side of this pop-up box, you can see it says Add Creative. Add Creative means the creative content in your advert. So the images, the video, how your advert is going to look, including the words. And all the time that you're editing on the right-hand side here, it gives you a breakdown of what this is going to look like. You can see here that it's already given me a warning. Because they've used the cover picture on this Facebook page and it's got more than 25% text over the image, it doesn't like that. It says it messes with its algorithms. So really you've got to reduce the amount of text over images if that's what you're using. So it's prompting you here to make a change. Notice here that you can select multiple images or video. Video is powerful. More video uploads go on Facebook than YouTube every day. So video is hugely powerful on the Facebook platform. Underneath here, you can see that I've got a range of types of audience. I'm going to take you over to Ad Manager in a minute to discuss how to define that audience. You can see that I have already set up some Facebook audience types for different types of content. Some of you might have a single audience type that you want to promote to because your business is small and that's what suits you. And I would suggest if you're new to Facebook, then that's a good idea. However, if you have different parts to your business, many of us do, you run events, you have some accommodation, and maybe you have a cafe, you might find that you've got slightly different audience types for each of those types of content. Again, you've got the option within Facebook to set up multiple types of audience for the right kind of content so that you're not wasting money, spending money on one type of content, going to the wrong audience. And underneath here, you set your budget. It's really important here, be warned, depending on the type of promotion you have selected, you will be offered a daily budget or a total budget for the whole of the promotion. So be careful. If you've got £5, you spent £5 and you think that that is a total promotion price, but you find actually that you've ended up paying that per day, you could end up out of pocket. Facebook doesn't rip people off, but just be warned. And underneath, the duration that you're going to spend. And underneath, it will give you always the total spend. So it has defaulted to 10 days at £36 a day, 360 quid. Is this what I want to spend? And all the time that you're setting budget, you need to think, what is my total marketing budget for the year? And what am I hoping that the audiences will do? What action will they take? If, for example, you're doing a promotion to sell a particular weekend in your accommodation, which you know is going to bring in £1,000 worth of business over a weekend, then you might think that spending £100 is worth it. However, you will find with Facebook, especially for those of you who are beginners, that small and targeted works really well. So I would start really small on your budget, get your targeting right. Some of your promotions will work better than others and you won't have wasted lots of money. As you get more confident, you get to know your audiences better and what content works with them, then you will be able to build budget into that, but always have in mind, what money am I going to get if people take the right actions as a result of the money I've spent on the promotion? You've got to understand your return on investment, the ROI. Underneath, for those of you who have never promoted before, they will ask you for some payment method. So obviously this is a simple card payment, so that's easy enough. So I'm going to close this now because we're not going to pursue this particular promotion. And we're going to go over to Ad Manager. Ad Manager really is, as I already said, a way in which a business like yourselves can start to see all your advertising and all your promotion in a single platform. It's a single piece of software. Now, it looks really difficult to start with. I'm not going to have time today to take you through each section, but actually once you start learning how to use it, it really is a useful way to see, what have I spent over the whole year? Which promotions looking back over the last 6 months have really worked? Which ones haven't? Can I notice any time of day, time of week, time of year that I promoted that piece of content? Looking back on that, that really worked, this doesn't. It really helps you to fine your skills and to target your audiences better. So if I go to stop share just now, and I will take you to a different screen. Okay, so this is Ad Manager, and the way that you found this is that you went to your Manage Promotions or your Promote button on the left-hand side of your Facebook page, and this will take you through to all the different promotions that you might have chosen. You click All Promotions, and at the bottom it says Go to Ads Manager. So this is where you get to Ads Manager. Ads Manager, as you can see here, is a potentially complicated platform, but actually once you get to use it, you can see clearly how it works. Remember, for those of you who use Instagram too, that this is where you can manage all your Instagram promotions as well. So if you're sharing content in a promotion on Facebook and you have a linked Instagram page, then you can share that same content over to Instagram and see how that worked. Equally, if you have an Instagram account, a business one, you have it linked to your Facebook page and you just do an Instagram promotion, it will give you the results right here. So you can see here that there was a result here. And it tells you how much you've spent, your cost per result, etc. So it gives you all the information. But today we're going to simply set up an audience type. So at the top left-hand side here, you can see you click on Ad Manager, you have a whole host of options. The create and manage, so this is where you can access Power Editor if you decided to use it. Measure and report, this is all the information you have up to this point. And here is measuring your assets. Your assets, as far as Facebook is concerned, are the things that belong to your business. Your audience types that you specified, the types of images and catalogs. But we're not going to worry about those two at the moment. We're going to focus in on audience. So let's click audience. Underneath here, you can see that there's been some pre-set up audiences, but you want to create a new audience today. When you've created it here, that audience will be automatically available to you when you promote simply from the Facebook page, as I showed you before. So make sure if you have multiple audiences that you name them clearly, otherwise you won't remember who's who. So you can set up custom audiences, which is based on audiences that you might upload from. You can upload data from your MailChimp if you have emails, upload data from other places that you have, and Facebook will find these people on Facebook and promote to them. Lookalike audience is something slightly more sophisticated. So if you have a Facebook pixel setup, which is a piece of code that you can set up via Ads Manager onto your website, you might see that 200 people of this type have accessed my website in the last month. Facebook will then find those people on Facebook, say, I can see that they're mostly women aged between 35 and 40 with interests in X, Y, and Z. And then they will set up a lookalike audience for you to spread your audience out. People who don't currently know your brand or your business, but you know will be the type of people who have previously shown to like your website. Again, quite a sophisticated choice. We're not going to discuss that today. What we're going to focus in on is a saved audience. This is an audience that you are going to create from your own knowledge and understanding of your audience. So we click on Saved Audience here. Name your audience first. So this, I'm going to call this a test audience because this is a test today. But again, make sure it's nice and clear. This is your core subscriber audience. This could be my couples over 50 accommodation audience. It could be core audience for your whole business. Don't worry here about adding a custom or a lookalike audience here because we're not going to worry about that today. And on the right-hand side of this pop-up box, it will give you the overview. So currently, based on the fact that I've not whittled this down at all, they're saying my potential reach here is 43 million. You can imagine that if I approach a promotion using such a huge audience, I'm beginning to shout into the thunderstorm as I talked about at the beginning. I'm not whispering to my key audience. So let's find this down. Look at location. For most tourism businesses, you will know that your customers will only travel a certain distance. So from your own knowledge, maybe you think, okay, I'm based in Stafford, but I know that the majority of my customers and guests only travel 2.5 hours. So let's find that down. Just to let you know, Facebook don't recognise counties in the UK, they only recognise towns and cities. So we can put Stafford in, but we can't put Staffordshire. So let's put that in. We will put in Stafford, and it gives us the option Stafford, England. And you can see here it gives you a rather lovely circle. Now I know from my own personal business that I might think all my guests travel from a radius of up to 50 kilometres or 50 miles. It only gives you 50 miles here, but you might say, well, I get lots of businesses from lots of guests from Lincoln, or I get guests from Scotland. So you can set up another circle. So for example, for those of you who might get Scottish guests early in June, for example, if you could put in Glasgow, Scotland, and you might give that a radius, increase the radius here to another 50 miles, which includes central Scotland here and Edinburgh as well. So you've got 2 circles here, and your UK map starts to look like a Venn diagram, and you can see that you are going to target audiences within that range. Jump down to choose age. Again, if you go from 25 to 60, that's fine. Men, women, or all. Enter a language. So again, if you're promoting over to guests in America or in the continent, you could do a very specific promotion because you know you get a stack of guests over from New York at a particular time of the year, for example. We're not going to worry about that today. And then here is where it really gets interesting. You can start adding demographics, types of people, interests and behaviours. Please be aware that this is still an American company, so they don't always phrase things in the same way as we would do. But we can start to add. So we can start adding things like holidays. You might add family. You could add theme parks, if you know that your audience likes theme parks. You could add walking, if you think that your customers enjoy walking. You could add dog friendly, if your accommodation is dog friendly. Remember to think around your audience type. So if you know that your classic guest is a 40-year-old woman who books a holiday for her family, you know that she comes from Scotland, and you know the type of person who arrives. So you know they love your homemade cakes, they love walking, they always bring their dog, they like to entertain the teenage. Think about that woman's life and what else she might be interested in. She likes home baking, but maybe you know she likes cooking, courses, workshops. Think of the other things that she might be engaging with on Facebook to help Facebook understand who your audience is. And simply when you've gone through this, you can create your audience. And your audience is there, sitting there saying test, and you can use that when you next promote. So we have gone through a lot this morning. We've talked about why Facebook is powerful and why it is useful to spend a small amount of money on a targeted audience within Facebook using their powerful tools. We've talked about promoting your Facebook content via your Facebook page and on Ads Manager. And we've talked about managing budget. We've also talked about your content. So that is the ad creative, as the Americans call it. It's important that you don't have more than 25% text over the top of any image. It's important that your content is still wow. If your content is a blurry old photograph, then that's still, you could spend money on that all day, but it's not going to wow people in their newsfeed. So think about changing your ad creative around. Stunning images, video, or maybe a series of images to allow people to really understand what your business is and what you're asking them to do. And we've also talked about how to create your custom audience and your saved audience, rather, not your custom audience, your saved audience, so that you are really beginning to whittle down and target the actual people who are going to take action on your promotion, rather than just whispering, shouting into the thunderstorm, but whispering into your ideal audience's ears. what I would suggest for those of you who are starting out is start small. Try setting up an audience. You can go back and edit this audience anytime. So if you feel like you missed a sector out, then add them into that audience or set up another audience if you think they're a separate sector. Think about the type of creative and spend small amounts of money, £1 a day for 3 days, £5 over a weekend, so that you can just start to see what results you get and what's worth it, what works, what doesn't. And then you can get more creative and more experimental as time goes forward. But if you need further support, Destination Staffordshire are running a series of different workshops, masterclasses that will go through some of this in a more sophisticated and in-depth way. You could access a tourism coach. So you could have somebody who comes into your business one-to-one and helps you do this with you, helps work out what your marketing messages are, who your audience is, and what you want, what actions you want your customers to take. So I can see several of you nodding your head there, so that's great. So there are several options. Please visit the Destination Staffordshire website for information about what's coming up. And I hope today's been really useful. Good luck with your Facebook promoting, and we will see you again. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.